I'm Katie Gomez, and right now I live in Ashland, Oregon. I lived in Eugene 30 some years ago, and my booth partner Robert Rigg, I went to school with him. My sister went to school with him in junior high. I went to school with his wife in high school, and we came to visit them, and they were doing the fair, so I came up in 1979 for the first one, and in 1980 he invited me to be part of the booth. Been here ever since. And I do mostly fiber stuff, and all the way from cloth napkins to velvet pouches, vests, pillows, quilts. I have some quilts this year. And in 1986, Wally Slocum asked me if I wanted to make the banner for Main Stage, which I guess is there this year. I haven't been up to Main Stage yet, but it's been here ever since, excepting for the year Bill Wooten died, and then a photo of him was there instead of the banner. And I just look forward to the fair every single year. It's pretty much my focus. When I hire into a new job, I have to have this week off or I don't go work there. And all my bosses are pretty cool about that. The reason I've been in Ashland 30 years is I applied for a job in the costume shop at the Shakespeare Festival, and they hired me right off the bat. And so, like I say, I've been there ever since. Different departments, but each boss knew that I'd be taking the second week in July off to do the fair. And we originally were over on Abbey Road, and when the river took us out, Chalamello came in, and we've been here ever since. And we've been trying to figure out if we've been here 18, 19, 20 years. We can't even remember how long Chalamello's been here. And I just love the fair. Ran into so many friends today that I hadn't seen one of them in 32 years. And she's got a permanent booth next to ours now. Yeah, it's amazing. And then an acquaintance of hers and I just saw her just before I ran into you to do this interview, who was wondering where she got moved to. And I said, right next to us. So there's so many connections at the fair that I look forward to every single year. And yeah, that's what I love about the fair. The connections, the beauty, the art, the love, the peace. I just love it. My first year I was here, I had been making velvet pouches, and I really didn't know what to do with them, and Robert asked me to come out, so I had those, and people were buying them like crazy, and it surprised me. And so I just thought, well, I'll come back with my pouches, and I just like the ambiance. Even back then when you had to go to the Ritz and take a freezing cold shower, it was still really wonderful. I just loved it. I just love it. Yeah. One of the changes I've noticed is that there's not as much acoustical music, at least that I can hear anymore, because there's so much, I don't know, mechanical, or I don't know what to call it, but it drowns out the ambience of the acoustical music. I remember a few years ago I was trying to sleep in my tent, which is near where somebody was having a disco party. And so I ran out of my tent to go see what could be done. In front of my booth was the acoustic music. I couldn't even hear it. Right in front of my booth. And I just thought, wow, things have changed. And that part I don't like. The getting bigger is okay, because all of us, like my booth partners' grandkids are here. So it's got to get bigger to accommodate all families. And I guess along with that comes the electronic and all of that stuff that is hard for me to deal with, because I don't deal with electronic music very well. So it's just, I'm trying to think specifics that I really like. There's so many that it's hard to say. You know, the new foods that come in, the new crafts that come in, the new art that comes in. A lot of what I'm seeing now is a lot of art that comes in, and I'm enjoying that. I just have to remember to bring a bunch of money if I want to buy some. Whereas before I could usually get a bunch of gifts for maybe 20 bucks a piece. Now it's more like 50 to 100, which is fine. They deserve it. So that's what I've noticed, that little change right there. But the acoustic music is what I miss. Family, fair family, that I don't get to see but once a year is, I think, what mostly brings me here. Because of my other job at Shakespeare, I don't have the time to make a lot of art like I used to when I wasn't working, when I first started the fair. So I have stuff to sell, but it's the fair family and friends that I've known for, I don't know, since 79, 80, that draws me to the fair every year. Yeah. My vision for the fair, for the future, I kind of think limiting some of the stuff that's happening now, but at the same time, the newer generation, that's what they do. So it's very hard. I want the old vision back. Is what I want. And I want the quiet, so I can fall asleep early, because I have to get up early. But I don't know how that's going to work. I also, I do know that with this new loop that went in and some of the food booths on the corner, some path planning needs to happen, because they don't come down Wooten Way anymore. The food booths over there block the pathway, so people walk right by. They don't even know it's a path. And they just go into the new loop. And before, they would go to the bathrooms and walk right by it. So something there, that's a vision that I think needs to happen, and we've been talking to people about that. Some kind of something different for the flow of people to get to all of the paths that have crafters again. 'Cause that's what I'm used to. The flow of the people. Well, for me, that stands out most is the year, it was 1986. I'd just gotten my job at the Shakespeare Festival. At the same time, Wally asked me to make the banner at Maid Stage. So that sticks out in my mind, because I had deadlines on both, getting costumes done and the banner done. And so I think about that, because I made the banner in my backyard, because it was the only place I had big enough to lay it out. And I had my sewing machine out there. And so it was pretty fair, but that, to me, I think sticks out the most. The year I did that. Major change in my life, moving somewhere new, and new job, and a task that was an honor to be asked to do, and then see it every single year. Oh my gosh. It's kind of a nice honor.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I realized it was probably one of my first quilts. Start big. Then you can do anything. I know our booth, with Robert, sort of the guy who started it, who's doing the work over there, he's like a comedian. And when Cellamella the first year was here, there wasn't really anything happening here. And he had decided to do a little puppet show at night after dark. And so all of us in the booth got together and we're entertaining each other. Well, by the time the puppet show was over, there was 50 people in lawn chairs in the path watching it. We had no idea they were there. So when it was over, when we turned on the lights, it's like, where'd you all come from? Because we didn't think anybody was out here. But since then, there's entertainment all the time out here. But that's a fond memory of sort of being the first entertainment out here. Tolerance, patience, because I have to have those a lot with the different personalities just in our booth. And because of that, I am able to take it to other parts of my life. I think recycling too is something that I'd always done before I came here. I started doing that when I lived down in Humboldt County. But here it's even more major. And because of that, I'm part of the Jackson County Master Recyclers. So we do tasks and events and try to educate. So I think that kind of is a turning point too, as well as the tolerance and all is the lessons learned here I can really take out into the community where I live. I just feel glad that I was able to do this because I think it was only 2 years ago people actually knew who made that banner. Somebody asked and wanted to know, and a gentleman I'd known 30-some years ago said, yep, Katie, she moved to Ashland. And then Norma got a hold of me and asked if I'd made it. And I said yes. So that was kind of a nice acknowledgement after all these years. Nobody at the fair knew. I mean, Wally was gone, so he couldn't tell anybody who had made it. And the research that I had, I probably gave back to Wally because I can't find it anywhere. So, and nobody could find it when he passed, so nobody had any idea who made that banner. And it's a big part of the fair.
Well, now everyone will know.
Yeah! Yay!
Awesome.
I think that's probably my proudest achievement out here. Whether,
You should be very proud.
yeah, I had no idea what I was doing back then. I made costumes, sewed clothes. But sure, I can do it, Wally. Yeah. I think that what that taught me was when somebody asked me to make a mandala quilt for a show, a mandala show, I just said yes without knowing how I was going to do it, because I did that with the main stage banner. Sure, I'll do it. And then have to figure it out. So, in fact, the mandala is here today that I made for that show. It'll be in the booth.
Her phone rang and she said, I have to take this. And I'm like,
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.